All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Happy Saturday morning. Happy weekend, especially to all of you watching this morning. Thank you so much for tuning in, and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. As you can see right in front of us is a FedEx A300 600 RF ready for us to take some cargo from Memphis, which is currently where we are sitting, heading over to good old New Orleans. Real world ops from FedEx on this one, of which they use their A300s for. On this route, they seem to use a mixture of A300s and 767 300s for this route. So very cool, very happy to be bringing this route to you. Farmer, what's going on? India Fox, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for joining. Do I remember you? It's been a while, my friend. It's been an absolute long time. I like to say that I remember everybody. So, you know, give me a break there. It's been a little bit since I've started streaming full-time. Well, not even so much full-time, but, you know, streaming more often than not. So give me a break when it comes to that. But welcome to the stream. Thank you for tuning in. Excuse me, my throat is phlegmy this morning. I woke up feeling very phlegmy for some reason. I'm not sure what the issue is with that, but oh well, we are doing okay, I guess. Look at the beautiful A300 in front of us. Of course, we are using the frame gen mod to give us plenty and plenty of lovely frame rates right now for us. And if you are on PC, I highly suggest you have a NVIDIA RTX series card, the 20 series or the 30 series. I highly suggest installing the frame gen mod if you are on PC, because it is absolutely fantastic as to what it does to the simulator, giving you great frame rates. Not a lot of cost for performance or anything at all. A couple of flickers every now and then, but I can deal with that if it means being able to have amazing FPS while streaming in 4K, while heading into complex airports. Right now we're rocking at about 57 to 60 frames per second, right out here. In Memphis, you can see we are at the FedEx ramp. You can see FedEx on the buildings over here. Waiting to get our cargo loaded on. Plenty of other FedEx airplanes around us, as you can see. We're right next to a FedEx, looks like a 767. So we can go ahead and get everything started. The first thing that we're going to want to do is jump into the flight deck and at least just get ground power started before we start loading the cargo and getting all of that underway. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right inside here first. And let me turn up the simulator volume for everybody. So that way, once we get the systems online, everybody can hear them start up. Let's head up to the overhead panel. First thing we're going to want to do is we're going to get batteries 1, 2, and 3 turned on, and then activate the ground power. So starting with battery 1, battery 2, battery 3, and then I always like to give everything a few moments to kind of come to life before I activate ground power. Yanaler, welcome. Thank you for the welcome back. Alright, everything has come to life enough for me. We're going to turn on external power. Sounding good for us. We're going to get our nav and logos on. We're going to get our no smoking sign on. We'll get our seatbelt signs on as well already. Emergency exit lights, we'll get those armed as well. Galley power, we'll go ahead and turn that on. We'll bring our electric selection switches down over to external power, seeming as that is what we are using. And we'll bring our battery over to battery 3. We'll come up even farther and go to our aiders over here and get these set to nav. So number 1 to nav, the right side to nav, and center over to nav. Make sure that they all go into align mode. There we go, right side is in align mode, and center is in align mode also. Wonderful. we'll take care of the window heaters as well. Get those turned on. APU master start switch can come on also for when we are ready to fire up the APU. That seems to be good for us. Hey Mike, I'm here after a long time. Sorry for not joining past streams. No worries. Absolutely no worries. It's been a long time since I've streamed as well, so no need to apologize at all. We're going to want to come over here to our EFB. We already have our flight entered in. You can see Memphis to New Orleans. Memphis right now, winds. Take a look here. Winds are looking pretty decent. Only 260 at 7 knots, which is fine. Visibility could be better, but it's not terrible at all. Overcast at 300 feet. I wouldn't really call that overcast, but okay. So everything is looking nice for us. No remarks as far as landing in New Orleans. Winds 320 at 7 knots, so not bad. Visibility is great. Broken clouds at 800 feet. Overcast at 25,000. Wow. Altimeter 299.1. Looking good there, so I'm quite happy with that. Just to get preliminary things done and out of the way, we do need to come over here to the McDo, and we do need to enter in our flight plan to actually align the IRS. So we'll go ahead and start with Kilo Mike Echo Mike / Kilo Mike Sierra Yankee for New Orleans. We'll enter that in and hit return. Now you can see we have our latitude and longitude, and the Align IRS button has come to life. So we will click that and then head back up to the overhead and bring this over to status. And now you can see we got about 6 minutes until the ADERs completely align for us. So in the meantime, we'll wait for all of that to come to life. We will pop back outside the airplane, and we will use GSX to actually load the airplane, which is kind of cool. I always like doing that. So and it worked. The last time I tried this, it actually worked perfectly fine. We're going to request boarding. We're not going to board the crew. We're not going to worry about that whatsoever. So now you can see the big old cargo container loaders are going to get into position in front of the airplane and start loading our lovely precious cargo. I have no idea what's in these cargo containers. Waiting for my action. Open main cargo door. Yes, we cannot forget to do that. Come over here, go over to ground equipment, and we need to get the main cargo door open. As you can see, it is now opening. There we go. Lovely. And while GSX does what it's supposed to do, it's going to go grab all of our cargo containers for us and bring everything all over. So we'll have a few minutes while they prepare everything for us. I've been getting a lot better with the A300. We've been having some buttery smooth arrivals. We got a -139 yesterday and a -161. And I think I will take those all day long for a airplane of this size. Of course, I like to say, rocking 65 frames per second right now with GSX and all of my streaming stuff going. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. So how's everybody doing? Everybody having a really great Saturday morning? Anybody got any plans for the weekend? Which yoke and throttle are we using today? We are using the TCA Thrustmaster Boeing yoke and the Honeycomb Bravo throttle quadrant. That's what we're going with. There we go. There's our first section of cargo containers being brought up to the airplane. They are going to start loading the cargo. As you can see, there's already cargo inside the airplane. But I guess they're just going to load this in there anyway. No big deal. We got a few minutes until the IRS aligns before we can even go inside the flight deck and do a couple of things. We'll just wait for all the systems to come alive. So we'll just watch this for a little while and watch them load the airplane up. You can see more containers arriving on the other side, just over here behind my face. Yes, my favorite? Oh yeah. Very, very good yokes and throttles. I do have the Airbus, the Thrustmaster Airbus throttle quadrant as well, but I'm not using that for this just because I feel like the Honeycomb works better for the A300 altogether. And I just kind of like the way that the Honeycomb throttles feel when you don't have detents like you would in the an actual Airbus where they click into place. That's what I like using that throttle quadrant for, is, you know, whenever we're flying a Neo, or if we're ever flying the A320, or hell, anything that's traditional Airbus. Because this is the first Airbus ever produced, it does have a yoke, and there's no throttle detents or anything like that. Very much classic airliner stuff here. So I'm very happy to be getting back into streaming. It's feels very good to be flying as much as I have again on stream. Believe me, I've been doing plenty of flying off stream. There's no reason to worry about that. So my flying skills aren't compromised in any way, shape, or form. Getting a lot better with this as well. I have Airbus and Boeing yoke and throttles, but mainly Boeing. I use TCA yoke and Honeycomb Bravo throttle. Oh, absolutely. It's my favorite set that I have. I did have the Turtle Beach yoke, but I actually sold that just because I bought that one before I bought my PC, and this was, you know, back when Flight Simulator 2020 first released on the Xbox, because I was still flying, as sad as this sounds, back in 2020. I did have a gaming PC, but it was old, very old, and it could only play Flight Simulator X. So I was flying Flight Simulator X for years, even a year after Flight Simulator 2020 came out. At the time, I couldn't afford to buy a nicer computer that would run Flight Simulator 2020 like this. So I had bought the Turtle Beach yoke to go along with the Xbox so I could fly. And boy, I was just thinking about it. How desperate I was when the simulator first released on Xbox to get better airplanes, that I bought that horrible Braddock 737. And I remember being so disappointed, but I wanted a 737 so bad, so I bought it, and yeah, we all know, it has never been installed since. Let's go inside and take a look at our IRS. There we go, 0 minutes. So everything is almost aligned. There's still a few more things going on. Yeah, that thing sucks. Yeah, it does. That's an understatement. No offense to the developer, because I'm sure he spent a lot of time on it, and that's respectable, but whew, that airplane needs some work. Alright, let's get our pitches on. Now that the IRS is aligned, we can get all those on to start continuing loading our McDo. So let's come on farther down. GPS is primary, which is fine. Now we can get the rest of our flight plan information entered in to the MCDU. Take a look at our SimBrief OFP here, and we will see that our alternate airport is KMEI. I'm not sure what that is, what airport that is, but we'll just run with it and get that in there. Somebody in chat wants to look KMEI and let me know where that is for our alternate. Our cruise wind today on average is, wow, 254 at 103 knots. Holy moly. That's quite a lot of wind. Cost index today of 77, that's great. It's actually really good. Always like that. Cruising today at 30,000 feet. That is going to be our cruising altitude, so not very high at all. Makes sense because this isn't a very long leg. Why is it not letting me hit the 0? There we go. 30,000 feet. And of course our call sign today, or our flight number, is going to be FedEx 1453. This is an actual flight number of which they fly this route on. So trying to stay as realistic as we possibly can. Heading over here to our init page, we need to get our block fuel, 0 fuel weight, and takeoff gross weight entered in. Our 0 fuel weight for this journey is going to be 274 decimal 7. Nice, great amount. Meridian Regional Airport. I've never heard of it. So that's interesting. So that'll be cool. Hopefully we don't have to divert, but I don't think we're going to have to. Trying to get a good spot to put my coffee. Alright, so now our block fuel is going to be 29.5. That's going to calculate all of this for us. And then our zero fuel weight center of gravity, we're going to have to come over here to our iPad. Boarding completed. Wonderful. That was quick. Have to come over here to our weight and balance. We'll update that from SimBrief. Then we'll apply the load to the airplane, even though GSX already did a good majority of it for us. Our zero fuel weight CG is going to be 29.75. So we'll go ahead and get that entered in for us. There we go. Everything is finished on the init page, which means we can move on over to our flight plan page and get everything set up here. Out of Memphis, we're going to select our SID. Now it looks like for the SID we are going on 36 left for departure, and then we are taking the Pi P6, an iBuffy transition. So let's look for Pi P6. There it is, and then the iBuffy transition, which is the only option we have. We'll click insert. That is looking good. From iBuffy, we are heading over to MCB. And that's actually might be our transition on the Trish 1 arrival that we are taking in. So let's come over here to MSY, select our star. We are going ILS runway 2, and we are taking the Trish 1. And look at that, the MCB transition, and we'll take a Lido as well. And we'll insert that. Awesome. Now that our IRSs are aligned, we can go ahead and bring this over to plan, and then we can simply step through each one of these waypoints. Just make sure that nothing is looking too out of whack. We have a discontinuity. Let's get rid of that. That'll take us right to MCB. It should be a fairly straightforward arrival here. Huh. That's interesting. We'll vector ourselves in. I'm not going to bother messing with that anymore. That's fine. We'll vector ourselves in when it comes time to it. Clear our master caution. And let's continue along with our checklists here. Takeoff and approach. We need to come back over to the EFB. And we do need to come over here to performance. A lovely, lovely little function that iniBuilds has added to the EFB here is this sync button. It just takes everything from your flight plan and everything that you've entered into the MCDU and just enters it into the performance page for you. We're departing runway 36 left. That's the only thing you need to make sure that you're changing is the runway. You should do a Southwest Airlines 737 flight from OMA to MCO. Yeah, absolutely. I love flying over to Orlando. It's one of my favorite airports to fly to. How do we get this out of here? I can't see my Flex 2 temp, so we'll just hit finish now. Screw it. 63. It's always 63. So we'll get our Flex 2 temp entered in. That requires coming over here, selecting Flex 2. Enter that at 63. It's about 95.2% N1, which is very, very nice. Heading back over here to the fly pad, looks like we have V1 159, rotate 159, and V2 163. So 159, 159, and then V2 we need to enter in here on the master control panel of 163. And that is all looking nice and entered in now. So that takes care of the MCDU. Nothing else we need to do there. We're going to come over here and get our cruising altitude of 30,000 feet entered in. And then also, we are going to grab our runway heading very quickly from our charts. That is very important. Our runway heading for 36 left. We have a long taxi. Holy cow. 360 on the money, so perfectly north. There we go. Alright, I like that. We'll get our constraints on both sides. We need to set our altimeters for the airport. Take a look at our weather over here on the EF bead. We can get that right from there, so my flight will refresh. Altimeter is 2983 here in Memphis. So bring that down a little bit, 2983. Get our standby all set up as well. We'll get our artificial horizon standby all gyroed in. Okay, awesome. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to come over here, go to our ground equipment, and just make sure, oh, the door is still open, so we'll go ahead and get that closed. And then we will start the APU right about that time. So we are going to get the left outer fuel tank pumps 1 and 2 on. The APU master start switch has been long on, so we'll just hit start on that. Then we'll go outside and have a listen to the APU fire up, and then we'll be able to actually take away the ground power unit. .737 APU is nice, but this might be UT. All APUs are nice. Just happy that we are at a point now where the APUs are so much better. I remember back in the FSX days having to deal with those frustrating APUs on some of the airplanes where just the sound effects back in the day that blew our balls off, but nowadays it's not as impressive. Sounds like the APU is completely fired up there, which is exactly what we want. APU generator should already be online. APU is available. We'll turn the bleed air on. There it goes. You can see the bleed air coming to life. We'll go ahead and just turn down our cabin temperatures for the cargo. You know, always want to make it nice and cold for our packages back there. Window heaters are already on. I think we can go ahead and get the rest of our fuel pumps turned on as well. Alright, everything is looking groovy. I think that we are pretty much good to go with the exception of getting the probe heats turned on before we push back. We will come down over here and we will get rid of the ground power unit, seeming as we no longer need that. And I think that we are ready for push. So let's plan our pushback, everybody. Taking a look at the chart, like I said, we have a long taxi to go. So I think what we are going to end up doing is we are just going to push back into the right and then following taxiway Victor all the way down, and then take a left onto November, and then follow November all the way down. Or we can take a slight right-hand turn on the taxiway Mike, and just follow Mike all the way down to the runway. So only 2 turns required to get to the runway, but it will be quite a little bit of a long taxi, just so everybody knows. We're going to go over here to GSX. We're going to prepare for pushback and departure. Remember, everybody, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button on this stream for me. I would greatly appreciate it. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. We would greatly appreciate that as well. One thing I do need to do, actually, is see what Nightbot is doing, because Nightbot hasn't been working. I actually just noticed that, so let's see what the dealio is with that. So let's come over here to Nightbot. I'm assuming it's because I haven't used Nightbot in so long. Probably just needs to kind of get all reset up.
Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Commands. Custom. Alright, we still have all of the commands entered in there. So what is something else that we need to do before we make sure? You know what, it's going to require going to YouTube settings and checking moderators for our channel, so bear with me just a second here. I'll review our channel, see who, make sure that the mods are still in there. How do we get to that? I don't remember. Branding, rewrite subtitles, comments, and links, dashboard. I know it's in here somewhere. I just have no idea. Channel, keywords, basic info, advanced, feature, permissions, community. Ah, yes, mods. Nightbot is still in there as a mod, so it should work. So if somebody wouldn't mind, go ahead and test out the lovely Nightbot for me by putting exclamation point specs or something like that. Do one of the commands, exclamation point specs. Are they asking us to release our parking brake? What engine do we have on this A300? CF6 and Pratt & Whitney. I believe these are General Electric. Alright, before we release our parking brakes though, we're going to come up here and get our beacon lights on. We are also going to get our ignition over to A, so that'll get everything ready to go for us. Now we can release our parking brake.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Alright, back she goes everybody. We're going to come up over here and we are going to turn engine 2. Engine 2 start valve is open. We will come down here and observe that N2 is rising, which it is. At 20% N2, we'll get fuel flow initiated, and then we'll pop over the wing and have a listen. Like I said, the wing startup sounds aren't exactly that great yet. There's 20%. Oh no, we don't have wing views. We gotta set that up. I completely forgot about that. We don't have wing views set up for the airplane. That's okay. We'll set it up once we get flying. My apologies about that, folks. No big deal, we'll just start the engines from the flight deck. You see our lovely other FedEx friends over here. Like I said, with this frame gen mod, it's just so incredible the amount of frames that you can get with all of these graphics turned up now. Especially, you know, when I used to have the static aircraft engaged, depending on where we were and what airport that we were visiting, it could really wreak havoc on us. Engine 2 has had a nice clean start. We'll go ahead and turn 1. N2 rotation that we see here. N1 is starting to rotate as well. Our oil pressure should be starting to build, which it is. 20% N2, we will initiate the fuel flow just like engine number 2. And she'll get up and running. There we go. Fuel flow is going on. Doesn't look like it's the straightest pushback in the world, but that's okay. Maybe it's the guy's first day on the job, who knows. But engine number 1 is coming to life as well. There we go. Looks like that's the end of our pushback, so we'll come down here and set the parking brake.
We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
We have a good engine start. That is absolutely lovely. There goes the generators switching on to the engines, which means we no longer need the APU. So we can bring this over here to ignition off. We no longer need that. The APU master start switch can come off as well. We'll go ahead and get our taxi lights on because we need those. Flaps and slats today are going to be set to 15 degrees, so we'll come down here and get those set to 15. And then we'll just have a look and make sure that they are actually coming down to 15 and 15, which they are. We'll just sit here and observe. Kilo, what's going on?
Left is clear, right is clear.
Go, flaps are extended to 15, slats are coming along. Okay, I am happy with that. We just have to... The Southwest Airlines tug that just pushed us back. Oh boy. Oh well. Alright, as soon as we get the go-ahead, we are all ready to get moving and get this long taxi all the way to runway 36 left here in Memphis. Have a good trip. Thank you very much. That means we can release our parking brake. The airplane should start rolling on its own. There it goes. Generally, you don't have to give this airplane much power on the ground to get it moving. She actually idles perfectly fine. So we'll just wait to get nice and straight here. They push us back kind of crooked. That's no big deal. Don't seem to be having any troubles with our rudder pedals today. That was plaguing us yesterday. We had issues with the rudders, but we seem to be doing perfectly fine now. And away we go, ladies and germs, on our way to runway 36 left. So everybody can get their lovely packages on time via FedEx. It did start out really nice and sunny here today in my local area for the weather, but it has turned overcast very quickly. We're supposed to be getting some very vile weather coming up tonight and into tomorrow morning. Make this right-hand turn up here. Oh, does anybody have any fun plans for this weekend, other than watching me, of course? Hoping everybody is having a wonderful new year as well. Relaxing. There we go, farmer. Colin, what's going on, man? Welcome. Long time no see. I am wonderful. Hope you're doing well also. I was just saying, hoping everybody's having a wonderful start to their new year. We're going to be taking this left-hand turn at the very end here to join Taxiway November, and then we'll be peeling off of November onto Taxiway Mike, and then we'll be facing runway 18 right. But we're going to pass 18 right, go all the way down so we can get to 36 left. And then we'll get on out of here and start our journey down to New Orleans, and then we'll come right back to Memphis afterward. And I promise I'm not going like last night. I am not going to forget to start the replay tool. I did forget that last night on our arrival, our last leg arrival. That was my bad, so I'm not going to forget that today. Oh yeah, I forgot. This Memphis airport here has a little bit of weirdness going on with the taxiway in front of us, and I'm sure that you can see it. We have a very drastic uphill. Time to here, almost. We still got a little bit of a taxi to go. The reason why I'm letting the airplane get up to like 20 knots or so is because look at that massive uphill. Excuse me. That we are currently taxiing towards. Now that little incline right here dips down very sharply. Arriving into Beirut, Lebanon from Jordan. Hope I land this perfectly. I'm sure you will. Butter it for us. You have to give the airplane a little bit of power here. As you can see in front of us is that little weirdness that we have to climb above. And when I taxied this way the other day, it didn't seem to do anything weird. But you would think that flight simulator, you know, that Asobo would maybe fix this every now and again. There's the incline. There we go. Ridiculous. Yeah, but we made it. We made it up and over, so I'm fine with that. But the reason why I'm thinking that this is some sort of bridge, because that's a highway. So I'm thinking that this is a bridge. You can see the cars right there. So I'm thinking in real life that's a bridge, and the photogrammetry, or whatever the heck you call it, just simply has a hard time spawning it in. Here's where we're going to want to peel right to join Taxiway Mike. Hill climbing plane, I know it, right? Don't worry, we got the 4-wheel drive package on this bad boy. So we should have no problems. Right, lovely. We can see some lovely Southwest Airlines 737s over here on our left. Looking rather lonely over here at this side of the airport. That's okay. I couldn't really find a good freeware Memphis airport to put into the simulator. That's alright. But we just passed runway 18 right, so we're going to take this all the way down, stay straight all the way, and then eventually 36 left will be right up here on the right. 737-700s, yep, they're probably a mixture of, yep, they're 700s, you were right about that. They got that short little stubby section here. But yeah, this Memphis airport definitely needs some love from Asobo. Maybe they will release an update for it eventually, or I'm sure that there's a payware Memphis available out there, but I just don't always have the disposable funds to acquire such things. My next goal was actually to upgrade my PC. I'd like to get a 40 series graphics card in there, and then I think I'm going to have to replace my all-in-one cooler because it seems to be acting a little strange, so we'll have to do some research into that. Remember, there is a stream tomorrow as well, folks. We'll be in Eastern Airlines, A300. And we are doing shuttle services that Eastern actually performed back in the day with the A300 from LaGuardia to Boston and then back. So very interesting routes that are available for the A300. It's almost like regional, very much regional, and that is because of ETOPS. You know, ETOPS really restricted these airplanes back in the 80s. They couldn't fly over transatlantic. They couldn't go over the Pacific Ocean or the Atlantic Ocean, so they made it very difficult for these airplanes to cross the ocean. But once ETOPS certification came through, I'm pretty sure the A300 did have some transatlantic routes. I'm not exactly sure where. I haven't done too much research on that, but so right now, for the A300, the only engine options that you get that are currently released with the airplane are the General Electrics. The Pratt & Whitneys are going to be released shortly, as far as what iniBuilds is saying. So for right now, you only get General Electric. The Pratt & Whitney will be coming shortly, which is very cool. I prefer General Electric, me personally. Me too, good. Although Rolls-Royce makes a good engine too. Always take a Rolls. No, they make $1 million cars, so I would hope that they make good aircraft engines, right? Alright, we're going to take the next exit here, or the next turn. Actually, no, we'll go all the way down to the end. So we're almost there, ladies and gentlemen. Almost at the runway. We will get all lined up before takeoff checklists. And then we'll rocket ship on out of here. Rolls-Royce is your favorite? Nice. Now the real time to hear the roar. Yes, you are correct. There we are, all lined up, set our parking brake. We will come down here and get our TCAS turned on. Lovely. Oops, a little bit of a stutter there. Get our nose lights over to takeoff, landing lights on, strobe lights on as well. Just check our flaps. They are set to 15 and 15. We're ready to go. Foot, what's happening? Welcome. Alright guys, let's hear this beautiful A300 spool up, enjoy the takeoff. Sim volume is up nice and high. Enjoy, folks. Greasing our brakes and hitting toga. Airspeed's alive. 80 knots. V1 rotate. And up she goes, positive rate, gear up. Request 1,500 feet, will request climb power. Start a slight left-hand turn to get on course. That sound, I know it. Slats coming up, or flaps rather. And we can go ahead and get nav mode selected and profile as well. Turn the autopilot on. The autopilot will continue to do the rest for us. Nice takeoff, thank you, Farmer. I'm some sort of an engine sound enjoyer. Oh, me too. They have to get this released on Xbox, I swear. Yep, I think that is in the works. Not exactly sure when it's coming, but yes, this will be released on Xbox. Slats can come up now. I mainly quit Microsoft Flight Simulator because no good plans are on Xbox. Actually, check out the marketplace now. There's a good amount of stuff in there. All the PMDGs are in there, which makes it worth it alone. Alright, we can go ahead and get the simulator volume turned down just a little bit. There we go. Airplane taking us on a very nice left-hand turn. Climbing like an absolute missile. Almost close to 4,000 feet per minute as we rocket ship our way out of the Memphis area. 10,000 feet is coming, which means we will turn off our landing lights. Owl, what's happening? Welcome back. Let's go ahead and turn off our landing lights now. We no longer need those. The game is so smooth, oh yeah. That's because we have the frame gen mod installed. Hey Michael, I was wondering how you can see the feet per minute from the sim settings, because I looked and have not seen it. What do you mean, like, feet per minute settings? I usually always get it from the vertical speed. Well, that's where you should always get it on an airplane, is the vertical speed setting right here. Alright, so now that we are above 10,000 feet, we can do a few things. We can go ahead and set up our cameras, because we never set up the cameras on the freighter variant. Because I mistakenly forgot to, so let's set those up really quickly. This view that you're looking at here is going to be the view of engine number 1. So we'll Control-Alt-4 that, hit that, and now we should be able to look at our engine, come back a little bit farther, maybe a little bit closer still. It's kind of hard to tell if you're moving. You see how much quiet it gets? Like when you're up here, it sounds so much louder. There we go. I think that looks good for engine number 1. So we'll set that, and then we will set up farther along down the wing. When you touch down, oh shoot. When you touch down, if you're on PC, you need to get the, when you touch down on PC, you need to get the landing rate monitor, which is a simple mod, very easy to install, not very difficult. And then that will connect to your simulator, and then you have to enable the software tips. Once you enable the software tips, you will get the touchdown rate. Alright, this looks good for our wing view replay mod. That's pretty easy. Replay mod is I use SkyDolly for the replays. Okay, so now we are just behind the wing, so we'll do Control-Alt-1. So now we have in front, there we go, in front of engine 1, behind engine 1 over the wing. Now we can get the other side set up. Normally I take care of this beforehand, but I completely forgot to do that. Sorry about that, folks. No big deal. I'm just taking a look at our altitude just to make sure that we're not going to be in any trouble here. This thing can be a little bit finicky sometimes, and it can be a little tricky getting these views set up. But we seem to be in a good spot right here for just behind the wing, or just over the wing, so go ahead and Control-Alt-3 for that, and then we will come forward and get the engine view for engine 2. Lay the house RM is in the house. What is up? Should have taken care of this before stream, but honestly, I completely forgot. Completely forgot. So that's my bad. Alright, this looks good. Oop, no, we don't want to go. We want to go a little bit higher than that. There we go. I'm happy with that. Control-Alt-6. So now we should have all of our views set up, which we do. That's lovely. Oops. Get back inside the flight deck here. We are at 18,000 feet, which means we need to go into standard, which we are. Climbing up to 30,000. That's not too long of a cruise either, seeming as we already only have 340 nautical miles to go, and just about 39 minutes on the flight time. But one thing we can do, if we come over here to the camera views, we go to landing. Was it landing that I liked, or was it another one? I think that's it. I think that's all we get here. So we will go ahead and take this all day long. So we'll do Control-Alt-8. Ooh, that's not good. Try it here. Oh, man, why is it... There we go. There we go. Perfect. All of our views are all set up and we're ready to go now. Just passing 21,500 feet on our way to New Orleans, everybody. Remember, if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button on this stream. I would greatly appreciate that. If you are new here, also, please consider hitting that subscribe button and turning on notifications so you'll be notified whenever I go live. I promise we will be going live more often now, so no need to worry, folks. I know I kind of went away for a little bit, but that's life. Have to focus on work more than I have to streaming, unfortunately, so yeah, we'll be back now that it's winter time. Things will slow down a little bit, so we can definitely start streaming some more. Here new? Okay. And we are not going to forget to do the replay tool. We are not going to forget. Get another check of our weather coming into good old lovely New Orleans. We'll refresh the METAR. Winds 320 at 6, visibility is great, overcast at 900. That'll be interesting, which means we won't get visual on the runway until we are just at about ready to take over for the ILS. Now that's interesting, so I wonder if we will have overcast, because you can see here, it was telling us that we had broken and overcast at 300 feet in Memphis, and we didn't really have overcast, so we'll see exactly what they mean by overcast here coming up shortly, I suppose. We'll head outside here. "76 frames per second right now, folks. The frame gen mod just really gives you such a great experience. And being able to run at 4K too. The good old airplane has bad new iPad, I guess. What do you mean by bad new? Just a joke? I gotcha. We are going to test Nightbot. Now let's see if I woke Nightbot up. We'll see if he actually comes in. No, it doesn't seem to be working, so, that's an issue. Looks like we're gonna have to go in and see what we're gonna have to do to get Nightbot to work. We can try troubleshooting it a little bit here. Go over to my channel. Customize, I'm pretty sure. I just did this, so I'm pretty sure it's in settings. Community moderator. We'll remove Nightbot. And then we'll add Nightbot again. This into the moderators list. Copy. Now this should allow us to Alright, let's try it again. Nightbot is not working. I have no idea why. Nightbot is set as a moderator, so I'm not sure what the deal is with that. Why it's not working. Let's try another command. Hey, there it goes. They're coming through now. Alright, Nightbot is working. Okay, we got Nightbot fixed. I'm happy with that. Jump back inside the flight deck here. We have 263 nautical miles to go, and I imagine that it's going to give us the same issue with the top of descent, where it's going to want us to start descending way too late. I'm assuming. Because, yeah, it's going to want us to start descending right here, and that's just not really that great. So, we're going to start descending at about 135 nautical miles or so. Can somebody else in chat, can you please type in like exclamation point, oh, there's Nightbot, the automatic chat is coming through. Can someone else in the chat, if you're there, type in !specs, !donate, one of those, just so we can see if it's working by you guys entering in commands. You need an S on that, farmer. Specs. Transport dude. Alright, Nightbot is working again. Thank you, farmer. Appreciate that. Transport dude, what's going on? Hope you've been doing well. Happy New Year. Best wishes to you and your family and friends. Oh, we have a kitty. There goes the kitty tail. Oh, right past the screen. We're getting a big snowstorm here, folks. Tonight into tomorrow. Or I thought it was supposed to be more Saturday into or Sunday night, more into Monday, but I guess it's storm is moving a little bit quicker than they had originally intended, so we're going to get about probably between 6 or 7 inches of snow here in the next 48 hours or so, which should be good. Edgar Allan Poe. You hear the heartbeat under the floorboards, do you? 429 knots on the ground, which means we probably have a little bit of a crosswind. Only 3 knots, 4 knots, which isn't bad at all. As you can see, we have 233 nautical miles until we arrive, and we'll start descending right at about 130 nautical miles out, so we've got plenty of time to go here still. Mach 0.806 though on the speed, so the airplane is performing flawlessly. Very happy about that. The alert box doesn't seem to be working, so we're going to run a test. There it goes. It's working. Just something else I forgot to see that we should check out, just to make sure it's working as well. Yes, and thank you very much. I forgot about that. Thank you very much. Oh man, that's too funny. Chill music, nice music. I always like this chilled out beat. Well, I'm happy Nightbot is working again. It's very nice. 67 frames right now. Very nice. Not that it's all about frames, but the smoother it runs, the happier I think all of us will be. There's our arrival runway right there. We are just going to vector ourselves in, because that looks a little bit weird. This right here, the track that it wants us to take, so we'll just get ourselves in. Saudia 787 from Jeddah to BKK would be nice. You know what, once we get a proper 787, we'll start doing more things like that. And the main reason, you know, why I say that is because, you know, I've talked about it with a few people now, where I'm trying to avoid downloading so many different mods and dropping them into my community folder. You know, because to get a good 787 experience, you have to download a certain mod, and I just hate doing that, you know, so hopefully Quality Wings will get their 787 out soon. Then we can start doing better flights. When we get more aircraft and we don't have to install this mod to get it to work and install this to get it to work, you know, we'll start doing flights like that. But I want airplanes that are out of the box, meaning they work right away. You know what's wild is this is our in Microsoft Flight Simulator, you know, dear old dad, a fellow YouTuber, brought this up, and he said that, you know, it's absolutely crazy that we are 4 years almost into the release of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and this is our first proper wide-body add-on. Isn't that absolutely nuts? Our first long-haul airliner that it's done nicely, and it's been so long. We'll see how greatly we can butter this arrival. We seem to have very good success yesterday. Our first arrival yesterday was right on the money. Our second, we came in a little bit high. We had a hell of a float, but we still got her down. The one thing about this airplane I've found is really figuring out when to cut power to the engines, and, you know, it seems to be weird. It seems like, you know, I cut the power when we get the 10 call out, and then you start flaring a little bit. And that's what I'm really trying to figure out with the A300, and I think we've pretty much gotten it down. Yeah, something went funky with our arrival. I'm assuming we didn't do something right, and then we'd get vectored in right here, but we'll take care of all of that on our own when it comes time to it. We'll start descending in about 2 minutes or so. About 2 minutes, we'll start making our way towards, or descending into, New Orleans. Ground speed 475 now. We're getting a little bit of a boost there. Happy with that. Mach decimal 805. Very good speed. But, yeah, I am very much in love with the A300. iniBuilds did a fantastic job. Makes me excited for their A350. And I even believe that they said they were working on an A380 as well. But we'll see what releases first. Is the FlyByWire A380 going to release first? Or is the iniBuilds A380 going to release first? Chat, what do you guys think? Excuse me. iniBuilds? Yeah, most likely. I remember everybody, you know, we were making guesses, like even last year, like towards the end of 2022, when we were like, oh yeah, the iniBuilds, I mean the fly-by-wire, it's gonna be releasing hopefully by the end of the year, you know, and you know all this other stuff we were telling ourselves, but didn't seem to come true. Alright, we're going to start descending now, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to select 10,000 feet first here. And then we are going to select our speed. We're going to slow the airplane down just a little bit. We're going to slow down to about 280 knots for the descent. That seems to be a nice sweet spot for the airplane. And then we will take our vertical speed down here as well. And we're now descending, folks. All right, down we go. I think that we could probably slow the airplane down even more to 250 knots to help us out. So we'll continue to slow the airplane down. We'll even open up our speed brakes here a little bit just to help us out. There we go, open those up. That'll help slow us down even more. You guys can start guessing landing rates too, if you want to as well. What do you think we're gonna butter this in at? Think it's gonna be a greaser? I hope so. Hope it's an absolute greaser into New Orleans. We have our cargo on board. Hopefully nobody has anything fragile in here that they care about, because I can't make any promises that it's not going to be damaged. No promises whatsoever. That's what you have insurance for on all of your packages that you should be sending out. To a flip, right? Unfortunately, I am not that daring to even want to attempt that. This will probably be the last song as well, folks, as we are getting closer and closer to our destination. Speed brakes are still extended to help us out with slowing the airplane down on the way down. We are right on track with our descent. Need to be at 11,000 feet here at Trish and 250 knots. We're a little bit faster than 250, but that's okay. The one thing I love about the A300 is it's like your perfect combination of like steam gauges mixed with digital displays, especially the 600. As far as I just heard, someone told me that the A300 200s had steam gauges. So the one thing I like about this is it's your perfect mixture of everything. You even have an MCDU. So it gets that classic experience without having to break your neck or break your back with any hard steam gauges, even though I don't find them difficult. But, you know. Altimeter will refresh. Altimeter is 29995. We just went below 18,000, so we will select our altimeters to 29995. I just can't get over the frame gen mod, guys. I am completely geeking out over the frame gen. PC users, I would highly suggest it. It's phenomenal. We're going to look at our charts and just make sure we have them all populated, which we do. On our way over to Trish here for the next waypoint. And then I suppose we can just get this stuff taken care of now. Localizer frequency is 111.7. And the course is 016. That's our runway heading. Wonderful. And then we also need to come over here. And we need to enter in our MDA, which is looking like it's going to be 420 feet. Where'd it go? There it is. 420 feet on the MDA, and we'll also come over here and enter in 420 there as well. Go 420, all looking awesome there. And then once we surpass 11,000 feet, we can kind of ease up on our descent rate a little bit to allow the airplane to slow down even more. And we'll get it slowed to about 230 knots or so, 220. Just to really help us make sure that we have our speed dialed in. It's really easy to let this airplane get away from you with the speed, I find. And it gets away from you fast, too. But there goes 11,000, so now we are expecting 4,000, so we can kind of ease up on the descent rate just a little bit now. And that'll really help us out with the speed for sure. "10,000 feet. Get our landing lights on now." Go deliver everybody's packages so they can get loaded onto the FedEx truck with no problem. Anyone ever flown into New Orleans in real life? Anyone want to share their experiences? I've never personally flown into New Orleans. Imagine it's a nice airport, though. We'll also work on slowing the airplane down to 220 knots. Mama, welcome. Good morning to you too. Thank you for joining. We are almost at New Orleans. In our FedEx A300, doing some cargo operations today. Are you at work? Yes, and it's raining cats and dogs. Yep, you guys are getting the rain that's going to turn into the snow for us later on tonight and into tomorrow. Our first big snowstorm of the year. Yay. You can have it. Yeah. Luckily, I don't have to do it. We don't have to deal with it, so we don't have to deal with anything as far as the cleanup goes. So I don't have a driveway to shovel or nothing like that. I just got to clear off the car in the morning, and that's really not that big of a deal. All right, everybody, we're getting closer and closer. We have an FMC message. Discontinuity ahead. Yep, that is the case. Indeed. Leveled off at 4,000 feet. Once we start making our right-hand turn here, we will descend down to 2,000. Look at our charts over here. We are still doing nicely. Like I said, we're just kind of vectoring ourselves in. Normally, air traffic control would vector us in, but nah, nobody got time for that. So we will do it ourselves. See, we're going to take Royal in, and Royal is right here. So we are going to not follow this, because this is kind of weird. I don't really like that. It's putting us on a 10-mile final right then and there, which I'm not really a fan of. So we're just going to kind of do our own thing here. And that's exactly why I don't like flying on VATSIM or anything. It's just because I kind of feel like I like to do this kind of stuff a lot. You know, just kind of run to the beat of my own drum when I fly. And that's why I don't like flying with a lot of controllers, you know. Kind of really... You have to listen to what they say, and I'm not really the best at following instructions. And that, and they take it extremely seriously, and I'm not about to get yelled at by some dude sitting at his computer. So, no thank you. Alright, we'll make a right-hand turn now. And let's slow the airplane down to about 210 knots. And we will descend down to 2,000 feet. We should see our runway right here on the right. Yep, there's the airport right there. There's the field. Wonderful. We're very close to being able to make a right-hand turn. Just to get this out of the way now, we'll go ahead and select this over to ILS. We'll turn landing mode on as well. Landing lights are on. Everything's looking good there. Okay. Alright, we are just to be at about 2,000 feet here, nice and low, giving anybody the opportunity here on, if anyone lives here, I don't see any houses, just looks like a bunch of forest and marshlands to me. But if anybody's out there floating around on their boat or airboats or anything, they'll be able to see our beautiful airplane. We're going to slow the airplane down even more to about 190 knots or so. And we'll go ahead and bring out the slats. Alright, perfect. Our speed is perfect for our slats, and now it is going to be time to start the right-hand turn of 90 degrees, so we'll go to 282. And we'll take the opportunity to slow the airplane down even more to 170. And we'll go flaps 15. We are already in landing mode, so the airplane should automatically capture the ILS for us. Go ahead and adjust the heading just a little bit so it's not as harsh of a turn for the airplane to make once we get established. Should be grabbing onto the localizer any second here. There it goes. Alright, Kilo, welcome back. Alright, making our right-hand turn to get established on the localizer. We're on a 15-mile final right now. Speed is perfect. Runway is in sight all the way out there. I can see it. Fly the A380? Nah. Once we get a proper A380, we will. Not any of the freeware ones. I'm just not about that. Once iniBuilds releases theirs, or FlyByWire eventually gets theirs on the market, we will. But I don't want to download any of the free ones. Alright, we'll get the airplane slowed down to 160, and we will go flaps 20. The AN225, yeah, we can give that another go. I was thinking about that recently. Alright, time to come down here and let this know that we are on final. Approach speed is 131. At about 5 miles, we'll lower the gear, set approach speed to 131, put our last stage of flap in, and we'll be ready to go. We do need to come over here, though, and arm our speed brakes, because that is important. And then we will also come over here to the replay tool now, and we will get that started so we don't forget. So, yep, replay tool is recording. Alright, we'll go ahead and drop the gear. Gear coming down. Have I ever accidentally crashed? Oh yeah. We'll go flaps full. And then get 131 set in our speed here for our VREF. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. At 1,000 feet, we will take over and butter her down ourselves. Landing rates, if you guys want to guess in the chat, go for it. I'll try my best to make them. Let's get the simulator volume nice and loud for everybody and enjoy the arrival into New Orleans. There goes 1,000 feet, our control. Auto throttle coming off as well. Minimums, we're continuing.
100.
Butter, oh yeah. We're really getting the A300 dialed in as far as being able to land it, which is very nice. Alright. Welcome to New Orleans, everybody. Butter. Oh yeah. Alright, turn off the runway here. Speed brakes. Retract. Flaps. Coming up. Come over here to our landing lights. We can get those off now. Get our taxi lights on. APU master start switch can come on also. Strobe lights will come off. And we'll start the APU. Well, we need to go find some of our FedEx friends to park next to. I have no idea where the FedEx area is. So let's just find it very quickly. Looking like we have a little bit of a long taxi to go. So I suppose what we can do, instead of taxiing all the way to the gate, we'll just stop the airplane here. Rather than taxi all the way over there, we'll just stop the airplane here. Get our flaps back down for the replay. Come up over here, get our landing lights back on for the replay. Seeming as we haven't, we're not going to bother taxiing all the way to the gate. We'll just start with the first replay view, which will be from this wing view right here. Oops, here comes the moment of truth, everybody. Let's hope to God that the replay tool doesn't mess anything up here. It didn't yesterday, so I feel very confident. Alright, hit play. There we go. Kind of zoom it ahead a little bit for us there. Why are the flaps going up? That's not what we want. Okay, and we are also going to go over to Blank Live so we get the best view that we possibly can. Enjoy this first view. Beautiful. Nice landing. Thank you, Farmer. We'll come over here and we'll get a replay view from this angle now. Landings all day long, folks. Let's come out here. We'll get a good replay view from the outside. Awesome, and we'll take one more replay view before the be right back sign goes up, folks. And we'll back this up all the way here. Enjoy this last replay view. Give me about 10-15 minutes while the simulator resets, and I'll be right back with you. Enjoy this landing after we touch down here. Be right back sign's going up. Be with you in about 10 minutes. Alright, we are back. Sorry about that, folks. And thank you for bearing with me. The simulator was being very weird. I had to restart it twice. It kept flickering. I was getting like a lot of really weird flickers and a lot of really weird nonsense going on. I'm not sure what that was, but I had to restart the sim twice in order to get it to stop. So it's no longer doing it, so fingers crossed we don't have any issues with it as we go further down the line. But welcome back, everybody. Who's in the chat? Give me an idea of who's here still. I see we have 3 viewers. Yeah, the simulator was just acting very strange, so I went ahead and just made sure everything was going to run smoothly before we continued along here. I want this to be as smooth of an experience as possible for the viewers, so we're just pretending like we're jumping into another A300, obviously. The other one that we just landed and buttered on in is getting unloaded. This one we have to get loaded. The airplane's all underneath ground power already, and the main systems are turned on. I went ahead and selected that preset from the EFB inside the A310. Mama is here still. Yeah. So now that we have that done, let's jump inside the flight deck and let's just get everything ready to go right off the ripski here. And the first thing that we need to do is align the IRS. So we're going from KMSY. We'll / that over to KMEM for Memphis. We're going right back to Memphis. Hit return. We have our latitude and longitude there, and we'll hit align. So now that'll start doing its thing. Nothing else really that we can do inside the flight deck now that we've started the align process. It will take a little bit. FSRealistic isn't running again for some reason. There we go, we get FSRealistic up and running again. There we go, fantastic. That'll fix our view for us. IRS is in align mode, so we can come out here and we can ask GSX to start boarding, which is going to start the main loaders just smashing into our engine there. No big deal. Whoa! He had no issues getting to his spot. We need to come back in the flight deck here and head over to our EFB, and we actually need to open up the main cargo door. There we go, it's saying that it's in transit, so there it is, popping open for us. Lovely. And yeah, we'll begin loading the airplane while the IRS aligns, so we'll sit out here and watch for a little while. Hoping everybody is still having an absolutely fantastic Saturday. I know that I am. Always awesome when I get to fly. We had an extremely smooth -86 on the way in to New Orleans. Let's see if we can do even better on the way back to Memphis. Very happy with that result on the way in. But the competition is streaming now, so I'm sure as far as the YouTube algorithm, poor little old us are going to get pushed down the ladder a little bit for the bigger streamers that have started. No big deal, they've been doing it a lot longer than I have, and they work a lot harder on it than I have, so it's to be expected. Hopefully we'll get back on that YouTube algorithm again soon and get some more folks in here as we go on along. There we go, it's our first cargo containers there getting loaded onto the airplane. They're getting loaded on both sides. I love this A300, man. It is absolutely incredible. I love everything about it. It flies so nicely, and it's absolutely fantastic that we have a first proper wide-body airliner that we can do freighter runs with and passenger runs. Tomorrow, remember everybody, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, we're doing the Eastern Airlines shuttle run, which will be taking the A300 from Boston to LaGuardia. So that's a very short flight, but it is actually a real flight that existed with the Eastern Airlines A300s quite a while ago. So I did a lot of research on the different routes. I'm very happy the simulator decided it was going to cooperate with us because I was nervous at first. Because it was being weird. It was being very jittery. Like, moving the screen around was being very jittery, and that's a common bug that I've read about when it comes to the FrameGen mod. But restarting the simulator twice seemed to have taken care of the problem. So we should be smooth sailing for the rest of the stream now. There is our first cargo container being loaded into the airplane. There she goes. So cool. There she goes, getting loaded towards the middle of the airplane there. If we take a look at the other side, they are also loading in cargo on the underneath of the airplane. So we'll have quite a hefty load heading back on to Memphis. Should be about an hour flight on the way back, which isn't too bad at all. This is about the only thing that I use GSX for still, to be completely honest, is cargo. I don't really use it anymore to get the airplane boarded. Those days have come in and go. I remember when GSX first came out, we were using it a lot. But we're not using it so much anymore. Now that we have better airplanes, and, you know, I don't really feel the need to board the passengers anymore. And, you know, we had fun with it for a little while, but I noticed it tends to bug the simulator out, at least for me. If it doesn't bug it out for you guys or anybody else, then you are extremely lucky. Enough time has probably passed now to where we can get inside the flight deck and start getting our preliminary things done. Yep, we have, our IRS has been aligned enough for us to continue here. We're going to head up to the overhead panel. First thing we're going to do is get our trims set to the on position. Come over here to our status. The IRS is almost fully aligned, but not quite, so we'll get ourselves back into position mode there. There we go, it's aligned fully now. We have our complete latitude and longitude up there towards the top, so that's beautiful. So let's head on down to the FMC. We need to do a few more things here. Let's get a look at our OFP, bring that up so we can enter in all the correct information. Our alternate is going to be Huntsville International in Huntsville. Not sure exactly where that is, but Kilo Hector Hotel. Kilo Hotel Sierra Victor / Kilo Mike Echo Mike. Our alternate, as we mentioned, is KHSV. So Kilo Hotel Sierra Victor. Alternate return looking good. There we go. KMSY, KMEM, alternate, KHSV. Our cost index for this flight is going to be 50, not quite as good as like the 74 that we had it before, but that's okay. Our cruise flight level is 340, absolutely wonderful. And our flight number is staying the same as FedEx 1543. Okay. And our cruise wind is looking like it is going to be 252 at 124. Wow. Let's see if that'll help us out a little bit. Alright, looking good there. We're going to hit the next page to move on along to get our block fuel. Come over here to our weight and balances. We have to, oh god. From SimBrief, of course, we'll update that from SimBrief. And we will apply the load to the airplane already. Fueling is going to start, but we have plenty of time for that. Actually, no, we'll just hit finish now. Who cares? So our block fuel is going to be 27,068, so we'll do 27.06. For the block fuel, there we go. Our zero fuel weight is coming in at 258.96. We go. That'll get our gross weight all entered in for us now as well, 285,100 pounds. And our zero fuel weight center of gravity is looking like it is going to be 29.92. 92. Lovely, like that. Now we can head over here to our flight plan and get this ready to go. Boarding is complete. Alright, which means we can head on over here back to our EFB, and we can actually close the main cargo door. We don't need that anymore. We can get back to our weight and balance screen. From MSY, we're going to enter in our SID, which is looking like it is going to be... It's like a direct departure. It is a direct departure via runway, looks like 29. Okay. Insert direct departure. Interesting. And then from there we are heading direct to MCB. So we'll go MCB, new waypoint, perfect. From MCB we are heading direct to Levy, but that might be our transition for our arrival. So we'll head over here to Memphis, we'll choose a star. We're going in on 36 left. We'll take the ILS, of course. And then we are using the Hoburg 3. I don't see it. Hoburg 3, there it is. And then we are going in by Navy. And we'll take Whiston as well. We'll insert that. Okay. So we can get rid of this discontinuity. And of course there's going to be another discontinuity down here. But let's grab a look. Switch this over to plan. And let's just see exactly what we are looking at here. So we'll cycle through this. MCB, MEV, C-Plan, Hoburg, into Winston. So I wonder if we delete this manual out of there, then delete this. We'll go right to Winston. We'll be able to turn right on to our ILS approach. That'll put us at about a 10-mile final, which is perfectly fine. We can deal with that. Everything is looking good with our flight plan. We'll come over here to take off and approach. Time to come over here to the EFB and go over to performance. We will sync everything that we need. There we go. So it's pulling in the sync, except runway 29. Oops, not 20. Runway 29, 10,000 feet, plenty of room. We will calculate that there. That's giving us a flex 2 temp of 63. So we will come over here, go flex 2, and set it to 63 degrees Celsius. Perfect. Looking good there. Looking back over at the EFB, looks like our V1 is 155, our rotate is 163, and our V2 is 163. 155? Yeah. 155. Oh no, that's 163. I thought that was the other button. 155, and then V2 is 163, which we will set from our speed bug up here. $163. Groovy. That's looking nice. Everything's looking good there. We'll go ahead and choose our acceleration altitude to be 3,000 feet. Thrust reduction can be 1,500. I'm fine with that. Then our engine out, we'll just leave that the way that they are. Everything is looking good there. We are pretty much done with programming the FMC there. There's a couple of other things that we need to do before we continue along, which means getting our altitude selected. So we're going up to 34,000 feet. So we'll select 340. We need to get the runway heading of runway 29, which of course is going to be around 290 degrees or so. But I always want to make sure. Runway 29 is 286, so we'll get 286 entered in on our heading selector. 286, lovely. We will also grab our weather. Let's have a look and see what the METAR is going to give us here. We'll import from SimBrief. Refresh that there, which means actually, because we never did that, is this going to change now? No, it didn't. so that's cool. At least that didn't change. We'll come over here to our flight and grab our METAR data. Looks like 280 at 7 knots. It's the same winds. 10 miles of visibility, which is great. Overcast at 1,000. Doesn't really look overcast, though. I mean, a little bit. I would say more... Yeah, that's weird. Interesting. Broken overcast. Yeah, no, that's Memphis. We just have overcast here at 1,000, which doesn't really look true. 29 or 9 or 6 is our altimeter, though, so we can select 29 or 9 or 6 on both our primary and our backup. So there we go, 29 or 9 or 6. Let's go ahead and get our backup artificial horizon all lined up there. There it is, all lined up for us, all well and good. It looks like we are doing fantastic. The next thing we need to do actually is start up the APU. If we can get to the overhead panel. Why are we not able to get to the overhead panel now? There it is. Weird. Okay. We'll fire up the APU. APU master start switch will come on. We'll get our APU fuel pumps on as well. We'll go ahead and hit start on that, so the APU is going to come to life. We can come outside and have a listen to that. There it goes. Alright, APU is firing up. Sounds like the startup of the APU is nearly complete. Probably a few more seconds. Remember, if you haven't done so already, folks, please hit the like button on this stream. I would greatly appreciate that. And remember to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And turn on notifications for the channel so you'll never miss a live stream. We have another live stream coming up tomorrow. Should be a good one. Eastern Airlines shuttle. Looking forward to that one again in the A300. Absolutely loving this airplane lately. APU is available and fired. It would be fun to do an A300 St. Martin to Key West. Yeah, there's plenty of Caribbean flights that we can do in the A300 because that's where American primarily used their A300s, was in the Caribbean. So we can definitely do that for sure. APU is fired up. We'll turn the bleed on. Go over here and get some temperature in the cargo area, nice and even for us, and then we'll even come up here as well. We'll turn this on over to APU Gen, set that to battery 3. Alright, galley power is on, everything is looking good. We are pretty much ready to go, so we'll turn the rest of our fuel pumps on. We need those. Turn our probe heats on as well, and we will request pushback from GSX. I'm just not really sure where they are going to push us back to. Sorry about that, folks. That was very loud. Go ahead and tune that down a little bit. As far as where it's going to push us back, I mean, I have no idea. I really have no clue where it's going to bring us. We have a UPS 767 right there. That's cool. If all of this crap wasn't here, I'd be almost tempted to just do a big turnaround, but not looking like we're going to be able to do that. So we're going to ask to push us back to the right and see exactly what happens. I'm a little nervous about it, but we'll see. So they got the bypass bit inserted. While they are getting all that done, we'll go ahead and turn our beacon lights on as well. And we are pretty much ready to start, with the exception of coming over here and disconnecting the ground power unit. We no longer need that. So ground power unit is disconnected. There we go. You can see the APU generator kicked in as we switched it over. And I guess we can come down here and we can get the TCAS all set and ready to go as well. We just flew the A300 to the Caribbean. We went Orlando to San Juan. Then San Juan over to... Where did we go after that? No, I lied. We didn't do that. We went Orlando to Jamaica, Kingston, and then Kingston to San Juan. Alright, we're going to ask to the right. We'll see what happens here. He's asking us to release our parking brakes. We'll go ahead and release those. Get our ignition over to A. And we are ready to go to start engine 2. See, I knew this was going to be weird. He's pushing us, he's pulling us forward. I have no idea what the bleep is going on, but we'll just start engine 2. Start everything as we normally would. N2 rotation coming alive at 20% N2. We will go ahead and select fuel, hop over to the wing, and have a listen. Just interested to see exactly where they're going to put us. 20%. They're pulling us forward right now. Now we're going backwards. Okay. That was something. That was interesting. Okay, as long as... Okay, I guess we're done with the pushback. Where on earth did that put us? Hey, it works. I mean, these guys might be in the way a little bit, but it's no big deal. Let's set our parking brake.
We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Engine number 2 has come alive. We'll go ahead and turn 1. N2 is starting to rise. Same procedure at 20% N2. We'll throw fuel, hop over to the wing, and have a listen.
Unlocking gear. Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Alright, and it looks like engine number 1 has started successfully. There we go. You see the engine generators switch over. Everything is looking good on the start. We don't have any signs of a hot start or anything like that. So we can come up over here. We can get our ignition off. And then we can turn off the APU master start as we no longer need that. We'll get our taxi lights on as well. Seatbelt signs are on. No smoking signs are on. Also, I think everything is pretty much ready to go. We'll select flaps 15. We'll come over to the wing view and watch our flaps go down to 15 degrees. Alright, flaps are set to 15 degrees. We just need to get the all clear from GSX for them to tell us to go. I'm not sure if I missed the message or not. Sometimes it pops up here. It says, have a good trip. Looks like he's walking away, but he might be shoving us. Sir, you are in quite the predicament there. We have this tow truck, or this tug over here, doing God knows what. So these guys just sit... Oh, okay, bye. Boarding is complete, I guess, so I guess that we are pretty much good to go. So we'll disconnect the parking brake. Airplane should start rolling here on its own ever so slightly, but we will probably need to give it a little bit of help to get it. They left faster than my father. Dear God. Alright. Airplane is rolling. So we'll just taxi straight ahead here. Let's look at our chart to make sure that we know where we are going. We are going to runway 29, so it's actually not that bad of a taxi. We just need to take this left up here and then make it right onto Bravo and then follow it straight all the way. And that'll take us to runway 29. is our right-hand turn onto... Actually, this is taxiway Echo, not Bravo. Wonderful. Quite a simple taxi, nothing too much to it here. See, one thing I don't like at the airplane is just so silent back here. Maybe not so much back here, but like right here, it's so quiet. I don't understand that when you get to the wing views, everything just goes silent on you. Milsku, what's going on, buddy? Welcome. It's been a long time without you, my friend. See what can I don't even know if those are the lyrics, but I tried. Yes, I had it up in the Discord. I announced these streams a couple days ago. But yes, welcome Nilsku, welcome back. Hope everything is going well with you. Hope you are having a fantastic new year. Well, I've been having weeks where I do 20 flights on Flight Sim, then months of being a no-lifer on games like Fortnite. Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I bounce back and forth between, like, wanting to play Call of Duty and stuff like that, and then wanting to fly, and... So I understand that all too well, trust me. Alright, here's where we are going to turn onto our departure runway. God, even just the way this airplane taxis is fantastic. So smooth. She just floats right across the ground with no issues. Almost all lined up, just straighten ourselves out a little bit here. right, I am happy with that. We'll set our parking brake very quickly. Come up to the overhead, we will get our landing lights on. Get our takeoff lights on as well for the nose. Strobes will come on as well. And we are pretty much ready to go. Alright everybody, enjoy the departure out of New Orleans, heading back to Memphis. We have a direct departure, so we're going to have to make a left-hand turn after we depart to get on course. Enjoy everybody. Parking brakes released, toe brakes going on, throttles going up to 50%. Releasing the brakes and toga. Airspeed's alive. Knots. V1. Rotate. Up she goes, positive rate, gear up. That nose down a little bit. Don't get too carried away. There goes 1,500 feet. We'll select climb power. Alright, what a lovely departure. Alright, let's start our right-hand turn. Coming up on 3,000 feet, which is our acceleration altitude, so we'll lower the nose. Still flying by hand. Allow the airplane to accelerate. Just about to surpass 4,000 feet. Alright, slats are coming up. Or flaps are coming up, rather. Alright, cool. We'll go ahead and retract the slats as well. Oh boy. Doing lovely, still hand flying the airplane. She hand flies like a dream. Nice takeoff, thanks, Bomber. And also, congrats on winning the U20 Ice Hockey World Cup, but it doesn't remove the fact that I'm mad about losing 2-3 in the semifinals. I did not pay attention to that, but thank you, I guess, on the congratulations. And don't worry, you can't win them all, you know what I mean? Alright, we think we can go ahead and activate nav and profile. We'll get our autopilot on here momentarily. Yeah, I gotta share some of the medals to the smaller teams. Yeah. God, this airplane hand flies so well. Really does. Here's 10,000 feet. We can really lower the nose now. so we can accelerate. And then we'll turn on autopilot now as well. Alright, autopilot is on. Turn down the simulator volume a little bit. Very noisy in the cabin? Yep. She's an old girl. A300s were built in the 80s. But now that we've surpassed 10,000 feet, we can actually go up over top here, get our landing lights off, get our nose lights off as well. We no longer need those. Climbing up to 34,000 feet on this final leg back to Memphis in the A300 freighter. Can't believe that it's so gray and just gross looking here. You know, we have had terrible weather lately all summer long. It rained literally every weekend during the summer. Not gonna lie, almost every single weekend it rained. We got an inch or more of rain. Excuse me. So bad that the little stream behind our building here actually overflowed and flooded our parking lot. For a little while. That's how much rain we've been getting. And now we're getting snow, so yay! That should be awesome for the Monday morning commute. Not very excited about it, I'll tell you that. Climbing like a rocket ship, 2,500 feet per minute. I'm just about to pass 15,000 feet. Remember, if you haven't done so already, please remember to hit the like button on this stream. We would all really greatly appreciate that. Our next subscriber goal is, of course, 1,000. I mean, I hope we're going to hit that. And, you know, it requires more consistent streaming, but we are currently sitting at 775. So only 225 more subscribers to go until we reach 1,000. When we hit 1,000, that'll be a big day, folks. But more consistent streams will help us get to that goal of 1,000. You can expect to start to see more streams from me over the weekend now that we're into winter time. Not a lot going on. The holidays have gone by, so nothing we need to worry about there. There we go. We are pushing past 18,000. We can put ourselves in standard. Standard mode is in. Lovely. Now that we've passed 18,000 feet as well, we can go ahead and get some music going again. We can hop outside as well if we really want to. Let's go take a look. Alright, I am going to go ahead and put the live no camera up because I need to use the little aviator's room, everybody, so I will be right back. Please don't go anywhere. Just a quick restroom break. Alright. Whoa. I have returned. About 28 minutes to go. Just passing 31,500 feet on our way up to 34,000. We won't be cruising up here for too long, folks. Like you see, our top of descent is already right here, so not very long of a cruise we're going to have. Distance to go is 232 nautical miles, now 231. So, love these nice quick legs that we can do in such big airplanes. Knowing that they're done in real life just really makes it so much more fun for me. Because I don't know, that kind of bothers me. I always like to try to do real life things. You know, when it comes to smaller airplanes like general aviation, you know, like if we're going to fly a turboprop like in Antarctica or something like that, or Greenland or Iceland or wherever, I don't really worry about the realism of the airplanes flying at them, because that would be something, it's just like, oh, I own this airplane, I'm gonna fly over there if I lived there. Can't really do that with an A300. There we go, 33,000, 1,000 feet to go until we reach cruise. We'll probably be cruising for maybe about 10 minutes or so, maybe even less. Alright, and we are in cruise mode automatically. We'll just select cruise there on our own. 98.7 is our target, but we are probably not going to use anywhere near close to that. Cruising at Mach 776, ground speed 449 knots, which is absolutely fantastic. We are rocket shipping along here, folks. Should be back in Memphis in no time. What should we fly next week, everybody? What should we do? You want to see more A300 action? We kind of did A300 all weekend. So what do you think? Hop in an A320, hop back in a 7.3. And many different options. What about a lousy season for the Patriots, huh? Not sure if we have any football fans in here, but my goodness. Whew. Never seen the Patriots do so bad in my life. That's because I didn't start paying attention to football at all, and, you know, Tom Brady was our quarterback, so at least we made the playoffs every year. Unlike nowadays, our lovely record, I don't even know what our record is anymore. It's something shitty, I know that. Pretty sure it's like 4-12. Maybe even 4-13. Yeah, gotta be 4-12 or 4-13. Which is just horrendous. It's absolutely awful. They suck, yeah. And that's what sucks, is they suck. But how long of a run did we have being at the top? 6 Super Bowls over a 20-year period, I think, is enough for us to be okay. Quite the hell of a dynasty, and it was a good run, but not all good things last forever, I suppose, you know. There's a kitty on the bed, but he's refusing to come to me. He's just looking at me. Yeah. Here he comes. Hey, boy. Want to say hi to the camera? Come here. Hey, Tip. My baby boy. Yes, I know. You want the bed back. Go ahead. Or do you want to stay here? It's up to you. I'm not holding you against your will. DOD! Welcome! Who are we going with for the Super Bowl? For me, honestly, I think it's probably going to be Cleveland and Detroit, if I had to guess. And I think that I'd like Cleveland to win just because of Joe Flacco. But it'll probably be, in my opinion, if that happens, I think Detroit will take it. That might be a long shot. Who the heck knows? It's still wide open. You know, I originally thought that the Eagles were going to have another shot at it, but they're having a end of the season meltdown, so I doubt that they'll even make it anymore. But it's still possible that they clean their act up. You are just loving the pets right now, aren't you? Hi. What are you doing? Alright, I'm gonna put you back on the bed now. Okay? How's the flight? Good so far, nice and smooth. We did our first leg from Memphis to New Orleans, and you can't believe it, we got a minus 66 on touchdown on our first go around. I think it was like a minus 67, which is phenomenal. What are we hauling? I have no idea. We can be hauling whatever you want us to. You choose. I know you haul rubber chickens, so I'm not sure what we have. We have to be getting close to the top of our descent. 170 nautical miles to go. We'll start descending at about 150. Let's check what Volanta had to say about our arrival. Whoopee cushions. Take a look at our flights. Our most recent flight, like I said, we got a minus 87 according to Volanta. So I'm not sure how we're going to do on this one, but we'll try our best. A whole A300 full of whoopee cushions. That way there will never be a whoopee cushion shortage around the world. So now that we're about to start descending very shortly, we're just going to set our altitude selector down to 10,000. Whoopee. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it's spelled. We are going to ignore this descent right here. Just because that doesn't give us a lot of room to get the airplane slowed down if we're not being vectored in by air traffic control, in my opinion. So we are ignoring that. Alright, start our descent, everybody. Bring the airplane down. And we will slow her down to 250 knots as well. That is good. I was very surprised. She behaved very nicely. And I'm starting to get used to the throttles while we are coming in as well, and, you know, watching our speed and everything, which I think is the hardest about this airplane, is speed management. Storms have finally passed through and it's sunny and warm here. Nice. Yeah, we're about to be getting what you guys just got. You know, if I turn my camera, you might not be able to see it, but outside, the weather is looking awfully gray and rainy. Well, not rainy, but gray and snowy. Why did I move this? There we go. Gray and snowy is what we are going to be expecting here very soon. Our first snowfall of the year, and it's January, which, you know, we can't always complain about, right? It's pouring this morning? Oh, jeez. Mom, are you still in here? My mom lives down south in Florida as well, so I'm not sure what weather she was facing this morning. I know that she told me it was supposed to be stormy. Not sure exactly how much snow that we are supposed to be getting. Oops, get our constraints on here just so we know. 16,000 feet, 290 knots, but we are going much slower than that, so we'll bring us up to 16,000 just to make sure that we are descending at a good rate here. The sun's out actually now. The storm is to the south of us. Ah, gotcha. And these poor SOBs for Porter Airlines were changing an engine on the Embraer outside on the ramp. Oh, man. That stinks. At least it was a smaller regional plane, so I imagine it's maybe not as time-consuming as would be on a Boeing. But that sucks. Being out in the rain, having to do perform maintenance work on an airplane just doesn't exactly sound like anything I'd want to take part in. We're going to open up our speed brakes just a tad bit here to help keep the airplane at 250 knots. Seeming as we are descending at about 2,000 feet per minute or so, so opening up the speed brakes will help us out just a little bit. It told us it typically takes them 3 days. Wow. How long would it take you to swap an engine on a 7.3? For an NG, we do hours in a shift for an NG. Max takes longer. 3 days. I wonder why. I wonder why it takes them so long. It's not anything I'll ever understand, of course, because I am not mechanically inclined as far as airplanes go, you know, in the slightest. Shift and a half for a max. That's not too terrible. Why does the max take longer? Have something to do with the engine cowlings or something? Or the nacelles? I don't know. I'm just spitballing. I'm guessing. You know, I just watched a video about JetBlue. This guy took a JetBlue E190, and I guess JetBlue is planning on retiring their Embraers, their E190s, in favor of the A220 in mid-2025. And they need to, because those airplanes are in horrendous condition. On the inside, especially in the cabin. The guy was showing pictures of what the cabin looks like, and I was like, whew, that looks disgusting. More involved, alright. Which is surprising when it comes to a smaller jet like that, you know? Oh no, you're talking about the Max. I got it, yeah. You gonna stick around, DOD, to watch us butter this bread, or what? There's a kitty in the window next to me, staring through my soul. Looking out the window. One thing about living up on the 3rd floor here is there's, you know, we're a good 30 feet off the ground, so he's got plenty of room to look outside and watch the birds. I imagine that's what he's doing right now. The engines, they are changing as a Pratt. It looks brand new. Now, when you guys put engines on airplanes, are they always brand new or are they used? I imagine sometimes they would come off an airplane. Be around for a bit, getting ready for a shift change. I'm lead mechanic this morning. Oh, nice. The head honcho. Still have our speed brakes extended. They're overhauled, gotcha, so they're rebuilt. Got it. Now, do you guys rebuild the engines, or does somebody else do that and they ship them to you? There goes 18,000. As soon as we can pull ourselves out of standard mode. Let's take a look at what our altimeter is going to be for our arrival. Normally the ATC would give us our altimeter, but we don't use ATC, so we'll just enter in our arrival. It's going to be 2982. This will be the last song, folks. Oops. 2982, dialed in. What's that constraint right there? What is that? 230. Wait, what? Below flight level 230. Yeah, but what altitude do we need to be at there? We're just going to shoot for 10,000, and then we will reference our charts very quickly. We tear them down, remove accessories, bleed air system and exhaust, and ship them out to get overhauled. Yep, makes sense. Let's just take a look at our charts very quickly. Worked in the engine shop for a couple of years. God, I can only imagine. Whenever I look at jet engines and just see the amount of hoses and just all of that that's involved. We gotta be at 4,000 feet. So we are making our way down nicely. So we'll just select this to 4,000 and just simply adjust our descent rate. I don't think we quite need to be quite on steep of a descent path that we are. I think that this will do just fine. We can bring in our speed brakes now. We no longer need those. Dive. Why does it sound like our engines are spooling so high? Why are we at... Whoa. What is going on here? Why are we at max throttle? What is happening? What the heck's up with that? That's interesting. Not sure what that was about. But we just went ahead and our auto throttle just put us to full throttle, and I have no idea why. That was very interesting. So I guess we'll open up the speed brake again to get us slowed down in time to 250 to surpass 10,000 feet. That was very weird. Did I hit Toga on accident or something? I don't think I did. Weird, very weird. It was so loud when we came back here that I was like, what is that? The engines were at full tilt. You may want to put your gear lever into the off position. Is that a thing? It is. You know why I'm not used to doing that? I'm not used to doing that because in like the PMDG, it doesn't allow you to put it into the off position if you have your gear lever selected up on your throttle quadrant or whatever you use to put your gear down. Alright, let's put the auto throttle back on now and see what it gives us. If it puts us all the way up to full throttle, then something is the matter. There you go. Looks like it's kind of evened itself out again. I am not sure what on earth was up with that. Why we went full throttle all of a sudden, but that was very weird. And I'm very happy that we caught on to it. Very interesting. Luckily, we're not flying passengers today, and we just have whoopee cushions. We gotta be at 230 knots when we make this right-hand turn, so we will just tell our auto throttle to do that for us. Oops. Do you have any idea what that was about with the auto throttles putting us up to full throttle there? I mean, we were pinned 103% N1. We were screaming. It's almost like I initiated toga and I didn't. So I don't know what the deal with that was, but it was scary, that's for sure. Not sure if it's the same with Microsoft Flight Simulator, but the iniBuilds A300 and X-Blade wouldn't arm your auto brakes if the gear handle wasn't off. Yeah, it seems to be the case here. I don't usually arm the auto... I don't arm the auto brakes until the gear is down. Usually. Yeah. It seems to be the case, because I've tried to arm the auto... Let's test it out. Ready? Oh. You are correct. It has to be in the off position to arm them. Cool. Alright, now that we are about to be making our right-hand turn over here, let's go ahead and get our ILS information dialed in. We want 108.9 for the localizer, and the course is going to be 360 perfectly north, so we can leave that the way it is, because that's the only option that we have. Let's go over here to take off and approach. We got to get our MDA dialed in, which looks like our MDA for this is going to be 521. Max decision height of 521, and then we'll come over here as well. Set this to 520. Go, and that should be fine. Look at that beautiful scenery we're missing. And a lot of farmland. 72 frames per second right now, guys. That is absolutely insane. This mod is just unreal. We never got that many frames before installing it, so that's pretty good. I'm very happy about that. Couldn't be happier. We'll go ahead and get the sim volume up a little bit more for everybody's listening pleasures. I think we can get a nice slow pace of 500 feet per minute down on the descent. We need to be at 4,000 feet by the time we get to Winston or Whiston over here, and then look at that, we're banging right left onto the ILS from there. So pretty straightforward approach, not too much longer to go. We aren't going to forget the replay tool. We didn't forget it on the first go, on the first leg, and we are certainly not going to forget it on this one. Are you playing music? No, music is turned off now that we are close to our arrival. And the cool thing is it looks like we're going to be at 4,000 feet, so that'll give us plenty of time to slow the airplane down. We'll probably have like 10 nautical miles or so to get the airplane slowed down and get the flap schedule. I'm not sure what the flap schedule even is. Let me see if I can look this up. See if Google can give us any information. Takeoff flap settings, flapless takeoff, no. I am not finding any information here. Flap optimization, takeoff and landing. This is an article from 2004. So let's see what we have here. Yeah, that's not giving me any information. I was gonna say, I couldn't hear it, yep. Skirt, Michael, it's Ryan, aka Europe001 from ages ago. Do I remember you? Yes, I do. Tuning in just in time for our arrival into Memphis. The last leg of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Until I go back to the couch and do absolutely nothing. And get ready for this snowstorm that we're about to get. Go ahead and zoom in our ND a little bit more. Lucky? Yeah. If you want to consider that lucky, getting a snowstorm. I mean, I might be sitting on the couch, but I'm going to have to go out there in the freezing cold on Monday morning and bury and undig my car before I go to work. No thanks? Yep. You're working till 5? Oh man. You have tomorrow off though, mama? See, we're gonna hit 4,000 feet in about 10 nautical miles or so, and we're gonna use that time to get the airplane slowed down, throw out the slats a little bit. I always like to slow the airplane down to like 210 knots. Yes, you have tomorrow off? Good. Good. Stream tomorrow as well, everybody. Eastern Airlines real-life shuttle service, Boston to LaGuardia and back. Again in the A300. I'm probably going to take some time to plan out some streams that we want to do maybe next weekend. I can tell you I will not be streaming next Friday afternoon just because I have to attend the Massachusetts Municipal Association trade show in Boston. So I will be hopping on the train and heading to Boston and having to go work. So I will not be streaming on Friday afternoon just because by the time I take the train home and get home and all that, and I'll be on my feet all day talking to literally hundreds of people. So I am not going to be streaming on Friday. But expect to see a stream thrown up on Saturday and Sunday possibly. And then maybe even Wednesday. I was thinking about throwing something up as well. Maybe we'll hop back in a Boeing during the week and see if we can do something a little bit different. Alright, we are at 4,000, or about to be at 4,000, so we can slow down the airplane now to 210 knots. Should have no problem slowing down to that speed. And then we will let out the slats as well. We will also select our nav over to ILS, get landing mode ready, get our auto brakes set to medium, arm the spoilers. Landing lights are down and looking good. Lights are all looking good as well. Let's hope we can butter the spread, everybody. In the clouds. Hey, the sun's coming out a little bit. Won't you look at that? It's peeking through the overcast just a little bit. That's not going to last long. It was beautiful out this morning. Woke up at about 8:30 or 9 o'clock-ish. Looked out the window and it looked beautiful. The sun was out, the sky was blue. And I said, hey, look at that, nice weather. Not like we're going to be having that tomorrow. And then, as quickly as I made that compliment on our weather, it turned. Sun's out here, lucky. We had an absolutely awful summer. Absolutely awful when it came to the weather. We didn't have many great weekends at all. Literally rained almost every weekend. Ooh, excuse me, I don't mean to yawn. Ooh. Right, we are going to lower our speed to 200 knots and let out the slats. Look at this frame rate. That is just unbelievable. DOD, you have to get this mod. It is just, it is absolutely insane. Like, look at how buttery, crispy smooth this is. If you really go wacky with the camera movements and you really start throwing it around, it might stutter a little bit. But if you're just kind of hanging out here, I mean, look at that. That is just unbelievable. And that, I don't even know how the mod works. And I was kind of leery about installing it. But once I found out that it was only 2 files you have to put in your folder, and it's not the community folder you put those in either, it's something else. So just, if you want, I can pin the tutorial on how to install it on my Discord, and wait until you see what you can do, because it's absolutely incredible. Alright, we haven't been established on the localizer yet. That's just the airplane following the nav path. So we should be getting established any moment now. See that localizer in the center. There it is. We are established on the localizer. Have to look into it. Yeah, it's good. And I haven't noticed it kind of having any adverse effects on my sim in any way. We're on a 20-mile final now, so we still got a little bit to go here. 200 knots is perfect for being that far out from the airport in this airplane, so I will happily take that. When we get to about a 15-mile final, we will slow the airplane down even more to probably about, a little bit of a stutter there. I don't like that. Don't crash on me now, simulator. Alright, we'll slow the airplane down to 180 knots, and we will bring flaps to 15. Hey, flaps 15. Once we get at about a 10-mile final, we will lower the speed to 160, let out flaps 20, drop the gear at 5 miles, and then enter in our last selection of flap. We should be able to get her right on down. We are established on the localizer. We are looking really nicely there. The airplane should start pitching down on its own now to stay on the glide path. Glide scope. Don't have sight of the runway. The cloud in front of us is blocking it, but it's about 10 nautical miles ahead of us there. There we go. We are starting to come on down on our own now, so we'll bring the speed down to 160. We can increase the range on the ND. Go. About a 10-mile final right now. Go ahead and throw flaps 20. Runway is in sight. We will go ahead and throw the gear down. Help give us some drag, slow the airplane down a little bit more for us. Here we go, there is 160 knots. We are at a 5-mile final now, which means we will bring the speed down for flaps full. We will select flaps full. Just to take a look, our approach speed is 132, so we'll go ahead and dial that in. 132 knots. And here we go, everybody. At 1,000 feet, we'll take over control of the airplane, and we'll bring her on in. Get my feet on the rudder pedals now. I'm so happy I have pedals. Getting a good set of pedals has been a game changer as far as the simulator is concerned. Absolute game changer. Oop. I know what I'm forgetting. Replay tool is recording. Alright. We didn't forget that again. We'll get ready to turn off the auto throttle here any second. Winds are very calm, only 3 knots, so barely any wind is going to affect us at all. So we should be good to go. We're coming up on 1,000 feet here. Okay, there goes 1,000 feet. Autopilot off. Auto throttle off. Enjoy, everyone. Continue. Alright, reverser stowed. Beautiful landing, gotta go. Thank you for tuning in, No Screw, appreciate that. Thank you for the compliments on the beautiful landing. I don't even know what our landing rate was, I didn't even look at it. Very nice, thanks, mama. Yeah, we are getting... Thanks, DOD. Take this right-hand turn right here. Long landing, but nice landing. Thanks, Farmer. We floated a little bit. That's okay, we had plenty of room. 10,000 feet of runway. Whoopee cushions for everyone, absolutely. Alright, you know the deal, as like we normally do. We're not going to taxi to the gate. We are just going to pull off the runway, and we are going to stop right here. There we go. Stop right there, set our parking brake, get over here for our replay view, stow our spoilers. And this will be the first replay view that we're going with. Recording stop, play. There we go. Alright, enjoy this first angle, folks. We're going to go ahead, flaps, what are you doing? We're going to go ahead and do blank live so everybody can get the best view possible. Lovely. What do you say we head on over to this view? Take it from this side. Back her up just a little bit. A little high, but that's okay. We landed well within the runway threshold. I mean the touchdown zones. The one thing that the frame gen mod does do is on your replays, it does do some weirdness to your shadows, which you can see right here and kind of behind the airplane, but whatever, that's small potatoes to complain about for what the thing can do. We'll get an exterior shot as well. Actually, you know what? We'll do one even better. We'll back the airplane up over here. We'll hit pause. Give it a second. And then we will go into drone mode. And let's get a rather cool shot here. We haven't done this kind of a drone view in a long time, so let's go ahead and we can get ourselves right to the runway here. I know right about where we touched down. Right about where we touched down is probably like right here. Maybe. How do you adjust this angle? There we go. We'll make pretend as if we're watching from here. Oh no, why is the drone... No, wait, pause. Stop. What is this thing doing? Okay. You damaged your landing gear. That's interesting. I'm not sure what happened there. Huh. Well, that stinks. Well, I guess we're returning to the main menu, but you guys saw it anyways. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Looks like the replay tool kind of screwed us a little bit there as we tried to get the drone camera out of the way. Sorry about that, everybody. I wasn't expecting that to happen. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. You saw another butter arrival in the A300. We got a minus like 89 there. We got like a minus 60-something on the first go. So we're getting the A300 dialed in, which I'm very excited about. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I really greatly appreciate it. Remember, there's another stream tomorrow starting at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back in the A300, and we will be doing shuttle operations with Eastern Airlines heading from Boston to LaGuardia, and then LaGuardia back to Boston. Really looking forward to that one. Thank you so much, everybody. Hope you all have an excellent rest of your morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are located, and I'll catch you guys all tomorrow. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Take care.